Hey everybody, welcome back to Double Tap. It's Mike. We're gonna try to play DND RPG Story. I know the title's a little jumpy in my mind, but we'll do the best we can. Thank you to MyNoise BBA for the sound effects, which I like to always have when I play a role-playing game. I always like to have cool sounds. And if you'd like to play along with me, definitely pick up the game. This is one of many in the series. I only bought one, so we're going to try to play the mage one. I've never gone through the whole game, so there'll be a lot of retries and mess ups and all kinds of problems, but we're going to have fun with this one. It's double tap. We can take our time. We don't have to rush. I don't care how many times we fail. You know, I might walk away for a minute to take a tiny break. But other than that, enjoy yourself, relax, take a nap if you need to, keep watching. Keep supporting Game Double Tap. It's been really important to me that you just have a good time and enjoy yourself. So let's get started. Sam Landstrom is the writer. I'm going to turn the speaking rate down to 70. 70%, folks, is the lowest I'll turn the speaking rate to. I know y'all are used to me going a little lower, but honestly, the 65% drags too much for me, and I can do 70. That's the best I can do. I am sorry that I can't make it any slower. And the sound effects are also so I can play the game and feel immersed. So I don't feel very immersed when it's silent. And if I can't hear the music, I also do not feel very immersed into the environment. So again, those are some of the reasons why I do what I do with music, sound effects, and speaking rates for voiceover.
Content warning, violence and dark themes.
So this one has a content warning of violence and dark themes. So if you are a young person, and you should probably ask your parents if it's okay to enjoy something with violence and dark themes. I know some of you are not even going to bother to tell your parents. You're like, this is nothing because I play Grand Theft Auto, etc., etc. But on my channel, I just want to make sure people understand the content warnings in games. If a developer goes through the trouble of telling you a content warning, then obviously they're trying to be respectful of parents who have a younger audience who play these games. So I'm not responsible for any text or terminology used in games. I don't make a promise for political correctness, nor do I control whether pronouns or proper enunciations or accessibility is guaranteed. I'm not doing an accessibility overview. This is simply me playing a game, double tapping on the buttons, and you all just listening and having a good time. So if you do want to hear me assess games and talk about their accessibility, then jump over to GAME, my main channel, where I review hundreds of games and their accessibility, how good their user interfaces are, their menu systems. I go through everything and I talk about what are some things that are problematic and what things are great. I try to make sure that developers are given the benefit of the doubt. And as I always say, developers do a whole lot for very little. And I just want to make sure you know that I respect what developers do for games because they are incredibly responsible and also adept at fixing their own applications. And so I trust them to fix little problems. If you have any problems, please take advantage of their help system, which is built into this app. I'm not going to be doing a full tutorial of the app. We're just going to try to play it as best we can. So, and that's another thing on Game Double Tap. I don't often go through tutorials. So if I need to read a tutorial, I might go through it with you all. But I'm not going to go through the whole tutorial. That's going to be something I do on game. Game Double Tap is more like for playing while I drink a cup of coffee or enjoy myself with a beverage. Today it is nice. It's a bit of a cool spring day here in Midtown Sacramento, and my girlfriend and me went over to Starbucks. We had a grilled cheese sandwich. We had some frappuccinos. So we definitely had a very, very, very fancy lunch. For us, that's a lot. We got our girls 2 drinks. I think one of them wanted a mocha mint frappe or a mocha mint something, and one of them, she wanted a tall espresso oat milk, but she didn't tell me if she wanted syrup in it or not, so I wind up getting syrup in it. So I hope she didn't hate it. Anyway, yeah, one of our girls is a vegan and one of them is not. So we have a little bit of a, we have to get two different kind of meals usually. Like we just got a pizza the other day and we had to get well, she was okay with vegetarian, so we got a vegetarian pizza and we got one regular pizza. But sometimes it's really hard to find a small vegan pizza, so you actually get kind of burned. So, I wind up buying a vegetarian pizza for $21, and then the regular pizza with Italian dry salami and all the goodies and pepperoni was also $21. But we wind up getting a full vegetarian, which I'm not interested in. Mind you, I'm healthy, but I'm just not that big into vegetarian pizzas or vegan pizzas. So we kind of wind up eating it anyway, because I think my girlfriend and one daughter ate most of the vegetarian, though the vegan, she ate some of it though. She liked it. So I don't know all the ins and outs of people who are vegan. I respect them and what they're trying to do with their diet and how they're, but sometimes I don't know what to get for food, and it gets really costly to get, I understand. Yeah, but it gets really costly to get two sets of food, when you have a family and you have to get two different meals. It can be really costly. But I feel for those who are vegan or vegetarian, because you're struggling to get variety of food and stuff like that. So that kind of is not very great for you, because you have a limited repertoire of things that you can enjoy. So, but yeah, I've been watching court TV all day long, so it's been fun. I've got this new addiction to cop shows and court TV. They're really exciting. They're really quite intriguing. All right, so let's get started.
WCB Wizard's Choice 1 by Sam Landstrom, 65%. Summary. You play the part by Sam 70%. Text selection. Lines. Words. Characters. Edit. Vertical navigation. Form controls. Links. Headings.
I bet you this thing uses links.
WCB Wizard's Choice 1 by Sam Landstrom. Summary. You play the part of the wizard. Content warning. Violence and dark themes. Begin. Button.
Let's begin.
Begin. Life. 12. Mana. 14. Gold. 0. Morale. 0. Dim.
Okay,
Game
so
stats.
there will be some stats I do not understand. It's okay. We just can relax. If you want to drop a full tutorial in the comments, be my guest. Again, I always tell y'all, please don't direct it to me. I won't remember what I did and when. I play so many games all week long. I will not remember a specific moment. My best advice to you, and this is with all due respect, and I really mean it, I love your advice. I love your help. But please, just drop general tips and hints into the comments. For instance, something directed toward me would sound like, hey, game, you didn't do this. Not helpful. Helpful would be this. If you decide to play this class, click this button and it will take you to this. If you want to do this, click this button and it will take you to that. So form yourself into some tutorial hints if you want to offer people tips or general information. That would be much more helpful. If you have some things you want to brag about, I always enjoy that. So if you want to brag, feel free to leave a comment. And of course, I don't care if you like it or don't, that's fine, because I'm not really worried about monetization. So if you like the video, liking it is great. I appreciate you. If you're not really interested, that's fine. You don't have to comment. It's not like the main channel where the algorithm needs to be fed and it needs likes and it needs comments and it needs view time. I don't care if you watch the whole video or not, but I do appreciate it if you do. If you subscribe, I certainly do appreciate it. That is a great thing. But let's find out what this mage is going to do. Now, I played this one time before. I did a first listen on the primary channel. I liked it. It was kind of cool, kind of cute, kind of fun. I played this game before it was fully accessible a long time ago, like a year or so ago during COVID, and it seemed nearly accessible, but I think it had a couple little problems. But I think the developer was really great that they took care of those issues. So I do believe out of all the possible characters you can play on this game, I think I think all of them are accessible. So that is really hats off to that developer for really spending the time to make things accessible to the blind and visually impaired. And of course, I don't preach about that on Game Double Tap, but I very much love it when developers take that time to make things accessible to the blind and visually impaired.
WCV1 intro.jpg. Image. You are a young wizard seeking treasure and glory. You are walking along a path in the forest one day's journey from Ring City, your beloved home. Night has just fallen and you're thinking about how it might be a good idea to find a campsite. After all, you're in goblin territory, and it's dangerous to travel in the dark.
All right, goblins.
Suddenly, you smell something awful.
Suddenly, you smell something awful. What is it?
Reginald, are you responsible for that outrageous smell? You ask the warrior striding ahead of you.
Oh, okay, I have to start all over again. So now I know Reginald was traveling with me, and he likes to crank some pretty funky farts there.
Pray, no, I am always downwind from my companions when I squeeze the bellows. Reginald answers. You realize that you have never encountered this stench before, and it is close, ellipsis, and perhaps it's your imagination, but is that muffled breathing you just heard?
Okay.
What do you do?
All right, so this is a choice game, but it also has some really cool things like Path of Adventure, where you have hit points and you have certain statistics and attributes and stuff like that. So we're going to have a lot of fun today. I want to try a little bit of everything, and if I really like this game, I might break out more of the games in this series. You know, I don't think I'm going to review it for the main channel. So I'm just going to keep it as a separate little series. So you'll have to come over here to Double Tap to enjoy this, if it's all going to work out just fine.
Shout a warning to Reginald. Button.
Let's see. Shout out to Reginald.
Dive flat on your face. Button.
Dive flat on my face.
Hide. Button. Stop and listen. Button.
Stop and listen.
Stop and listen. Button.
Let's warn Reginald. Maybe he's not paying attention.
Hide. Dive flat on your... Shout a warning to Reginald. Button.
I always like to protect my party members.
Shout a warning to Reginald. Life, 12, mana, 14, gold, 0, morale, 0, dim.
Let's see what happens.
It is an ambush, you shout.
Okay.
Startled, Reginald springs off the ground like a jackrabbit, his chain armor jingling.
Okay.
Just then, out of the brush rush several snarling goblins, their eyes glowing green in the murky darkness. They charge with their short spears.
Okay, goblins come out. Let's see.
Continue. Button.
Let's go.
Continue. Button.
Yeah, the buttons are pretty clean. The user interface is really nice. It's been greatly improved. This used to be a very shaky game with the user interface. I can tell the developer has put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into cleaning this up. I appreciate that a great deal. That tells me a lot. That makes me want to buy all their games. When a developer puts effort, I'll spend what little meager retirement dollars I have to support them. Because that's what I do in this channel. I love to support developers. They are my movie stars, superstars. They are my authors. They are my writers, composers. I believe in them.
Just then, out of the brush. Continue. Continue. Button.
Let's continue.
Continue. Life, 12, mana, 12, gold, 0, morale, 1, dim.
So morale, life, and mana seem to be the three main attributes.
Morale increases 1.
Oh, so we got a morale increase. I don't know what that does ultimately, but we'll learn it as time goes along.
Mana decreases 2.
We cost ourselves some mana.
With an arcane word and a flourish of one hand, you send a bolt of fire into the leader of the charge,
Okay.
who drops to the ground thrashing in flames. Reginald hacks down another with his sword. The remaining 3 run away, whooping and yipping.
Okay, that's right. So what happens is when you make a choice, your character automatically will take an action. A wizard will use magic. I suppose a warrior or a ninja will do ninja stars and or swords. So it's a little loosey-goosey with what your controls. I would rather make my own decisions on what weapons I use. I do believe, there will be some opportunities to do that.
Their cries are joined by others from the dark forest all around you. Many calls from far too many goblins to fight toe-to-toe.
All right.
It's a hunting party, probably tracking wild game. We humans are a delicacy, much better than mutton, Reginald says. You regard the 2 dead goblins on the ground. Dead goblins are worth 10 gold pieces per head in the city. Luckily, you don't need to carry their heads around. The city authorities will accept their left ears.
I don't like killing goblins, but let's just leave my feelings aside for a minute.
What do you do?
I do want the money, though.
Cut the ears off. Button. Just run. Button. Just run.
I am gonna
cut the ears off.
take
Button.
those ears.
Cut the ears off. Life, 12, mana, 12, gold, 10, morale, 1,
Ooh,
dim.
nice. Got that 10 gold.
Gold increases 10. Get the ears, you exclaim as you pull out your razor-sharp dagger from your belt. For a second, your sometimes slow-witted warrior sidekick doesn't understand, but as you start sawing away at the first ear, he gets the idea and fishes out his own dagger. Soon you have a bloody goblin ear stuffed into your pocket, and Reginald has one of his own. Nasty? Very. However, 10 gold pieces are nearly 6 months of wages to a common laborer, so you're willing to take the hit.
6 months wages. Woo! That's like we're rich.
What now? Reginald asks. Certainly there are excellent places to hide in the forest, if we can just make it until morning. Ellipsis. True. The goblins may have dogs, and their own sense of smell is keen, you say.
Okay.
We might climb a tree, then. That would at least be defensible, Reginald suggests.
I don't think climbing a tree is a good idea. Why would we want to tree ourselves?
You wish to be treated like a fox with goblins barking underneath? If you wish a position that is both defensible and allows some freedom of movement, we should hasten to Castle Inverness. It is near, and we could fortify ourselves behind those walls, Reginald says.
I think that's better to go to the castle.
You frown. It is a fortress, yes, but inhabited by what? Gods know what manner of creatures may have taken up residence in that ruin over the years.
Spoiler alert, nothing's good in that castle.
Hide in the forest, button. Garrison in the ruin walls, button. Climb a large tree, button. Climb a large tree. Garrison in the ruin walls, button. Hide in the forest, but garrison in the ruin walls.
Let's go into ruin walls.
Garrison in the ruin walls. Life, 12, mana, 12, gold, 10, morale, 1, dim. Castle Inverness is near. Let us take refuge behind those stone walls, you say. Goblin hunting calls echo from all around in the forest as the two of you dash up the path 100 meters or so, where you find a fork in the road. The path to the right appears to be seldom used since it is nearly overgrown. The path to the left is clear, and you think you see firelight down that way. Could this fire belong to the goblins? Or, if you're lucky, is it the campfire of another friendly adventuring party?
I think that's another adventuring party, but I don't remember, so let's go to...
What do you do? Castle. Never question the investigate fire. Button.
Let's investigate the fire.
Investigate fire. Life, 11, mana, 12, gold, 10, morale, 1, dim. Life decreases 1. So, it turns out the fire does belong to goblins. What did you expect? You're in goblin country, after all.
Okay, we lost a life.
You've come up to a clearing with two goblins staring hungrily at a rack of mutton sizzling over a fire. Apparently these guys are more keen on guarding their next meal than joining the rest of the hunting party. Before you can decide whether to turn back or kill them, one of them spots you and screams out. Reginald shoots this one with his bow while the other runs off.
Why would a warrior have a bow? But that's fine.
What a cowardly lot they are. You run back to the fork in the road and head toward the castle. On the way, you hear a whistle in your ear, then another, and then feel a sting just above your hip.
Ow.
They do have bows. The wound isn't bad. It's a small arrow, shot by a weakling, no doubt. You pull it out without losing stride. Continue, button.
Let's continue.
Continue. Premium upgrade.
Uh-oh, there's a... Uh-oh, they want me to buy something.
With premium, get all content unlocked with no ads. Since you will no longer need coins, all your existing coins will be converted to luck and future luck will be easier to earn for free. Note that the Paladin series, tilde 310k words, can only be unlocked with this upgrade.
Well, we might as well do it. We might as well pay for this premium upgrade. Okay, so I'm gonna edit this part out.
Yes, it's time to go premium.
All right, we're back. I just paid $19 and we have unlocked the whole premium game. So now I've got to try to earn back $19 somehow this week. Oh my goodness, the life of a YouTuber. We're going to get rich somehow, right? I don't know how that's going to happen.
Okay, button.
But we just paid $19, but that's how I support developers. I believe in helping them.
Your purchase was okay.
We now have a premium account. Looks like we're going to be playing this series through the end. So we've got all content unlocked, including the new Paladin series. I have no idea how it works, but we got everything.
Okay, button.
We're going to play everything. We're definitely going to get our
Two of you turn on
money's
a boost of
worth.
speed, and soon the outer wall of the castle looms before you. It is about 10 feet high and crumbling. You realize with horror that there are no holes on this side that are large enough to fit through. Meanwhile, Reginald, a faster runner than yourself, has disappeared around the north court. A short spear whistles past your head. You look back and see at least 4 of them.
Oops.
After a minute of stumbling down what is best described as a game trail, you see the shadowy husk of the ruin in the moonlight ahead. Unfortunately, the battle cries of your pursuers are closer than ever, and when you look back over your shoulder, you see glowing eyes.
Okay, we got to run.
The two of you turn on a boost of speed, and soon the outer wall of the castle looms before you. It is about 10 feet high and crumbling. You realize with horror that there are no holes on this side that are large enough to fit through. Meanwhile, Reginald, a faster runner than yourself, has disappeared around the north corner of the wall.
Okay, I got to warn you, there are some images. I won't be describing them. I'm sorry, I can't read them. If the developer would like to put some alt text in there, that would be beautiful. That would be great.
A short spear whistles past your head. You look back and see at least 4 of the little beasts. WC1goblins.jpg. Image.
And there's the JPEG. Unfortunately, I don't know what those look like.
What do you do? Follow Reginald. Button.
Follow Reginald.
Jump the wall spell. Mana 1. Button.
Jump the wall spell. Mana 1. We can jump the wall.
Turn and blast them. Mana 4. Button.
I can blast them and use 4 mana, which would be good. And I mean, we got to stop running.
Turn and blast them. Mana 4. Jump the walls. Turn and blast them. Mana 4. Button.
I'm going to blast them.
Turn and blast them. Mana 4. Life. 11. Mana. 8. Gold. 10. Morale. 3. Dim.
Ooh, I got 3. My morale went up.
Morale increases 2. Mana decreases 4. Die. Filthy vermin, you shout as you turn to face your pursuers. They are not far behind, and you only have to wait a few seconds before they are in range. You shout the spell trigger word, and a gout of flame erupts from your outstretched hand, engulfing 4 goblins. They scream shrilly for a moment and then fall silent as their flaming bodies crumple to the ground.
I love being able to control when we use magic. That's my favorite part of any role-playing game.
No more goblins are visible, so you run to catch up with Reginald. As you round the north side, you see him above a section of partially crumbled wall. He helps you scramble over the top and onto the rotten gangplank. He grins at you and nods in the direction you came from. Gods, you have struck terror into that advance party. However, they will call for reinforcements. We have the wall. The question remains, can we hold it?
Okay.
We could go in. You point to the castle keep beyond the courtyard. The castle is 3 stories tall, or at least it had been before most of the top floor collapsed. The second story is barely any better. The fortress is as lifeless and still as a painting. Nevertheless, you wonder if anyone is looking back at you from the dark arrow slits of the first floor.
Okay, we can go into the castle.
What do you suggest? Enter the castle now. Button. Prepare wall defense. Button. Prepare wall defense. Enter the castle now. Button.
Let's enter the castle.
Enter the
while
castle
we
now.
have time.
Life, 11, mana, 8, gold, 10, morale, 3, dim. 2 are not enough to defend all 4 walls. Away to the keep you shout. You run across the courtyard and open the large, wooden double doors, which shriek on rusty hinges.
Okay, I gotta throw some compliments down. So the interface is really tight. And I like that when you start a new page, you're brought to the very top. So when I touch my swipe from left to right, I'm exactly at the top. That is really nice.
Unlock? This may be a trap, my friend. We best be on our guard, Reginald says.
Okay, so
Once inside, Reginald slams and bars the doors. The entrance chamber is large with a high vaulted ceiling. The stone walls are cracked and flaking. The ground is strewn with loose rubble. The air is stale. Aside from the double doors behind you, there are closed wooden doors on the north, east, and west walls. Near the north door, there is a stairway going up, but it is blocked by rubble.
okay, so that exit is blocked by rubble.
It is not long before the front doors begin to rattle violently. Through a nearby arrow slit you can see glowing eyes and the glint of axes chopping away at the door.
Well, Reginald has a bow. Why doesn't he just shoot through the arrow slit? We can kill like several of them right now. They are totally vulnerable because of the kill holes. I think they call those murder holes or something, where people with bow and arrow can shoot right through those holes. You can put a couple of arrows right through their eye slots.
You're not sure how long the barred portal will hold them. Reginald wants... What do you do now? You're not sure how long the barred portal will hold them. Reginald wants to hide deeper in the castle. On the other hand, this place smells of death. It might be prudent to take a few seconds to investigate the room and doors.
Reginald, you are the most cowardly warrior I've ever seen.
What do you do now? Let's go. Button. Search the room and doors. Button. Search the room and
We're
doors.
gonna search.
Button.
We're looking for treasure. We're here
Search the room and doors.
for
Life,
goods.
11, mana, 8, gold, 10, morale, 3, dim. You motion to Reginald to check the east door. You inspect the ground and see there has been traffic through here. Some of the tracks on the dusty floor appear to be from human-sized shoes or boots, while others appear to be from bare feet, far too large to be from men. None of the tracks appear to belong to goblins. Listening, you can't hear anything over the goblins thumping and screaming outside. You direct the light of your lantern at the northern door and are about to turn toward the eastern door when something catches your attention.
Okay, what is it?
Was that an eye? You wonder. You think you caught a glimpse of a glistening eyeball through a rotting hole in the northern door. Casually,
Ew.
as though just taking another look around. You sweep your lantern light over the door again, pausing for just an instant at that spot. Yes, that was an eye. You're being watched. And although your glimpse of it was fleeting, you could tell the eye did not belong to a human. The white of the orb is pink with blood, while the retina is pitch black and large.
That's not good.
You would like to get a better look at the creature. There is a minor spell you normally use to magically open doors from a distance. You find it tedious opening doors yourself. As long as the door is unlocked, you could use this lazy wizard spell to open the eye door without being too close. On the other hand, that may frighten or anger whomever that eye belongs to. Perhaps you should just talk to it? Maybe you can join forces against the goblins? Alternatively, you might be able to hurl a bolt of fire through that eye hole. Not an easy shot, but you have the element of surprise. Finally, there's the running option, a choice that has been keeping wizards alive for thousands of years.
Well, all those are good options.
What do you do?
I say we're just gonna blast that person in there. I know it's not a very nice thing to do.
Open the door, mana 1, button. Shoot the eye hole, mana 2, button.
Let's go for shooting the eye hole.
Shoot the eye hole, mana 2. Life, 9, mana, 6, gold, 10, morale, 4, dim.
Our mana's running out though.
Morale increases 1. Life decreases 2. Mana decreases 2. Heading not found. Amazingly, you make the shot. Unfortunately, the possessor of the eye must have seen you look right at it as you wound up for the spell. The eye disappears just before your bolt of fire spatters around and through the hole.
Come on, how fast is this guy?
Crack. The door explodes open. The light of your lantern streams into the doorway to reveal a huge monster. A blackened spot on the shoulder is evidence of where your firebolt struck. He holds a massive, spiked club in one hand and a melon-sized rock in the other. He steps into the room.
Why is he peeking if he's a huge dude?
Nagel's tongue. It's an ogre. Reginald shouts. The ogre slams his club against Reginald's shield, sending him careening into another wall. Just then, the front doors of the castle burst open. Like a tidal wave crashing on the beach, a heap of goblins falls into the room, creatures one on top of another. A chorus of glee erupts from their fanged mouths.
Okay, when it rains, it pours.
Arrows and spears fly over and between the goblins in front. Unfortunately, you are struck by a spear. Luckily, it's only a flesh wound. Meanwhile, the ogre roars in rage, throwing his rock at the first goblin and striking it in the chest with such a nasty crunching sound that you know the goblin will never get up.
Okay.
Continue. Button.
The enemy of my... What is that expression? The enemy of my enemy is my friend, or just another enemy?
Continue. Button. Continue. Life, 9, mana, 6, gold, 10, morale, 4, dim. Reginald and you nearly collide in your haste through the eastern portal. Once through, you slam the door closed.
Okay, I guess we're moving.
From the entrance chamber you just left come goblin yips of triumph, which then turn into screams of terror that are immediately drowned out by an earth-shaking snarl. Next is the sharp slapping of flesh against flesh and the wet sound of bodies ripping apart.
I guess that ogre is going to town on them.
You run from one room to the next. The ogre is not much of a housekeeper. The castle is full of giant cobwebs and broken furniture. Finally, you enter a larger room, a dining room, as evidenced by a long wooden table and 2 fireplaces. You motion to Reginald to stop, and you both listen. Faintly, you can hear the far-off sounds of battle from behind you. Can't leave that way, you think. Just then you hear something else labored breathing. Ellipsis. And is that crying?
Okay. I remember this part, and there's some person in here, typical kind of like stereotypical adventure where you have to save a maiden in distress or something, I think.
Investigate the sound. Button. I'm out of here. Button. I'm out of here.
Let's go investigate the
Button.
sound.
Investigate
I think
the sound.
that does help us.
Life, 9. Mana, 6. Gold, 10. Morale, 5. Dim. Morale increases 1. For glory in the loot, you think to yourself as you take the lead. Continue. Button. For glory in the loot. Continue. Button.
Continue.
Life, 9. Mana, 6. Gold, 10. Morale, 5. Dim. You quickly realize that the sound seems to be coming from this very room. You creep over to the other end of the dining hall and see a young woman sitting on the ground, chained to a fireplace, rocking back and forth and sobbing.
Okay, so we gotta save her.
Siba.jpg. Image.
And there's a picture here.
Her cries break off, and she looks up at you with an expression of fear that quickly turns to surprise. Who? Ellipsis. Who are you? She asks. You tell her your names and that you are here to smite evil while making your fortunes. This brings a smile to her face, a pretty smile, you suspect, although it's hard to tell under all the dirt smudged on her face. She gives her name as Siba and says there is a key to her chains on the table. Sure enough, beside cracked and dusty china is a small brass key. As you set about unlocking her, she tells you that she is a merchant's daughter who was traveling with her father's trade caravan when it was attacked by a mighty ogre with a small band of priests of an evil god wearing dark cloaks. Those of her party not killed in the initial attack were taken prisoner and chained up in this room. One by one they were taken away by the priests, never to return.
Okay.
They took my father, Siba sniffs. No doubt he is slain, but I must try to find him. Will you help me?
Alright, we can help her find her dad. Well, we have nothing else to do while we wait for the ogre to tear apart all those goblins.
You ask her if she has any idea where her father or the others might be, but she knows little of the rest of the castle. Reginald takes you aside and says, ought we to take her to safety and then look for her father on our own? She will be in danger traveling with us.
That's true. We could take her home, but we have other problems. We could just leave her here.
You agree that having some half-starved, unarmed merchant's daughter tripping along behind you will only get her killed. But where is safety? Last time you checked, the courtyard was crawling with goblins, and according to her, the castle residents are not very good hosts. What do you do? Escort her out. Button.
We can escort her out.
Hide her and move on. Button.
Hide her.
Send her on her way. Button. Chain her back up for now. Button. Chain her back up. Send her. Hide her and move on. Button.
Let's hide her.
Hide her and move on. Life, 9. Mana, 6. Gold, 10. Morale, 6. Dim. Morale increases 1. There are a ton of hiding places in this ruin. You find a nice pile of rubble for her to hide behind a few rooms away. You tell her to keep quiet and that you'll get back to her.
That's right.
Stay still and quiet here. We will return. Ellipsis. Well, if we do not return by morning, escape as best you can. You instruct her.
Yep.
Clever. Reginald says as you leave her, if the wizards find Siba missing, they will not expect her to remain in the castle. With luck, they will leave the castle altogether to find her. And we can explore unhindered, you say with a smile.
That's right. We're after some loot, and we'll come back and save her on the way out.
Continue. Button. Continue. Life, 9. Mana, 6. Gold, 10. Morale, 6. Dim. The castle is quiet and dark. You walk into a wide hallway that branches in two directions. One direction is covered in a thick layer of dust while the other is covered in footprints.
Footprints means people, dust means treasure.
You decide that it would be wise to get a lay of the land before looking for any trouble. Despite the faint smell of rotting flesh from the dusty hall, you decide that it would be wise to go this way first. Less monsters, more treasure, or at least you hope.
Let's find some treasure. That is important.
You have kept your lantern hooded, only allowing slivers of light out. After all, you want to remain stealthy. The way is dim, however, and you find yourself tripping over rubble and the odd piece of furniture. Ahead, there is the stench of rot, making you wonder if there might be something terrible hidden in the shadows. Too bad you can't see in the dark like a goblin. What do you do? Keep the lantern hooded. Button.
Yeah, let's not make ourselves noticeable.
Unhood the lantern. Button.
But then again, if we don't see what's in this room, we could walk into a trap.
Unhood the lantern. Button. Keep the lantern hooded. Button.
Let's
unhood the lantern. Button.
Unhood the lantern.
Unhood the lantern. Life, 9. Mana, 6. Gold, 10. Morale, 7. Dim. Morale increases 1. Since you appear to be entering a vacant part of the castle, you expect your light will not attract enemy attention, and so you unhood your lantern to see your way clearly.
Okay.
As you move along, the cobwebs thicken, ellipsis, and thicken, ellipsis.
Very unused part of the castle, which seems illogical.
Spider. Reginald yelps. He points his sword up at the ceiling. There is an enormous, hairy spider suspended by a massive yarn thick webs. The webs are dotted with small silky cocoons you suspect might encase rats or other small prey.
Oh, that's where all the people went. I'm surprised it didn't come down and eat the girl.
With trembling fingers, Reginald sheaths his sword and unslings his bow. He takes in a big breath as he fits an arrow, draws back the string, and fires. The spider flails its long legs for a moment and then drops out of the web onto the floor with a thud. The two of you move on, taking extra care to watch the ceiling.
Okay, so big spiders.
Continue. Button. Continue. Life, 9. Mana, 6. Gold, 10. Morale, 7. Dim. Eventually, the two of you make your way to a spiral staircase going up.
Okay, so going up.
The upper regions of foul places like this are safer than the lower levels, says Reginald.
Well, you don't know that, Reginald. You big Goomba.
Why in Nagal's tongue would that be, you say? Reginald shrugs. Do not ask me what is in the mind of fiends and evil-hearted beasts. Perhaps they prefer the darkness and stagnant air below ground? You look up the stairway and sigh. Well, perhaps we can get a view of the courtyard and the goblins from up there. Reginald leads the way up the stairs, which lead into a small tower. Moonlight filters in through two windows. This room is finely furnished and otherwise much more nicely kept than the rest of the castle you've visited so far. There is a small bed, still made, on one end, an ornate table, and a bookshelf. On the table is an open fairy tale book and a gold-embossed hand mirror. Seeing loot, you forget about the windows and the potential view of the courtyard. You pick up the mirror to inspect it. Strange, says Reginald. There's no dust up here. And do you feel a draft? We are in a ruin, you say. Of course there's a draft. The glass in the windows is still intact, mutters Reginald. Gazing at your reflection in the mirror, you decide you look pretty good, all things considered. You brush cobwebs from your wavy brown hair. You smile. You're happy to see that your teeth are looking particularly good. Of course, you deserve nice teeth, since unlike most people you know, you take care of them. Every morning you wipe your teeth with a cloth dipped into a cleaning concoction consisting of vinegar, salt, a little sand, and a small measure of your own urine. You are about to pull yourself away from the mirror and put it in your backpack when you glimpse a translucent skull with thin, wispy hair just behind you in the reflection. You spin around and see not a skull, but a young girl floating a few feet in the air, her pale face fixed on you. Reginald sees her too, as evidenced by him running down the stairway. How dare you touch what is mine, the ghostly girl shouts. You back up and reflexively put the mirror back on the table. You have heard tales of powerful ghosts that can suck the life right out of you and wonder if this girl is one of those. WC1GhostGirl.jpg. Image. What do you do?
Alright, so we're at a bit of a disadvantage, so let's be cautious here.
Run for the stairs. Button.
Running, maybe we should talk.
Protection from evil spell. 2 mana. Button.
Oh, protection from evil spell? Okay.
Apologize. Button.
Why waste mana? We can just apologize.
Apologize. Button.
Let's apologize.
Apologize. Life. 9. Mana. 6. Gold. 10. Morale. 7. Dim. Ellipsis. I apologize, my lady, you say. It is only that this is such a fine mirror, and I wish to admire it. She glares at you for a moment, and then the hard expression on her translucent face softens. I am the Duchess Inverness. My father, the Duke, gave me that as a gift.
Okay.
You have heard stories of Duke Inverness and the mysterious circumstances around the demise of his house. Despite your fear, you feel a pang of sadness for his daughter, who now shimmers before you, trapped in this world. And these books, why, they look like excellent stories in here, you stammer. Read that one to me, the girl commands.
Alright, we have to read her a bunch of books. Okay, I remember this part.
Of course, my lady, you answer. Luckily for you, as a wizard you know how to read. You pick up the book of fairy tales from the desk and begin on the first page. She stops you and demands that you read her the story about the unicorn. With trembling hands, you page through the book. Eventually, you find the story and begin reading. The ghost floats up behind you as though to peer down at the pictures. You feel a slight chill on your shoulder. Some time later, you look up from her book and see Reginald peeking around the corner of the stairway at you. You shake your head slightly at him and then return your attention to the book.
Okay.
In the story, the unicorn taps her hoof against a wall in a castle, and a secret passage opens up. As you read this, the little ghost girl smiles and says, there is a secret passage in this castle as well. It is a foul place, a place where people are taken never to return.
Okay, so we're going to find out about the secret passage.
Where is the secret passage you speak of? You ask. In my father's library, there is a statue. Push the arm of the statue down, she explains.
Okay.
You are intrigued by this and wish to ask her more, but she points at the book impatiently, and so you get back to it. Upon finishing the story, the girl demands you read her another. You wonder how long she might keep this up. Time means nothing to her. After all, you would like to get back to Reginald. And what about Sibba's father? Rescuing a merchant might mean a fine reward. And there's Sibba herself, of course. You would like to find her before something else does.
Alright.
What do you do?
Let's read her a little bit more stories and we need to move on.
Read another story. Button. Attempt to excuse yourself. Button. Run for the stairs. Read another story. Button. Read another story. Life. 9. Mana. 6. Gold. 10. Morale. 6. Dim. Morale decreases 1. You do as the ghost says and read another story. You do not pay attention to the fairy tale, as you are increasingly distracted by the chill just over your shoulder. When you finish, the ghost demands yet another story be read.
Okay, we gotta get out of here.
Am I so craven that I'll continue to read to this dead girl while the living need me? I will read no more unicorn stories tonight, you decide. What do you do? Attempt to excuse yourself. Button. Run for the stairs. Button.
Let's attempt to excuse ourselves.
Button. Attempt to excuse yourself. Life. 9. Mana. 6. Gold. 60. Morale. 6. Dim. Gold increases 50.
Oh, cool, we got 50 gold.
Beautiful and gracious Duchess, might I ask your full name? You ask. Gabriella. Duchess Gabriella of Inverness, she answers. My lady, you bow. I beg your pardon, but there is a young woman in the castle below who requires my assistance. There are evil men. I suspect they threatened her life. A maiden in distress? Why do you dally here then? Be gone. You need no further encouragement. You step lightly toward the door. Wait. Her voice chills you, but you unwillingly turn back. Take this, she says, and the gold-trimmed mirror floats off of the table over to you. I cannot see myself in it anymore, she says softly. Generosity befitting a duchess. I thank you most humbly. You bow low and then leave. You find Reginald around the corner of the stairs, his sword at the ready. He begins asking you questions, but you put up your hand. Another time, you say. Continue. Button.
Okay, we got some money.
Continue. Button. Continue. Life. 9. Mana. 6. Gold. 60. Morale. 6. Dim. Checkpoint reached. Good job.
Alright, checkpoint reached. Yeah.
The two of you continue through the castle. Occasionally, you hear distant things, a shout, a crash, even voices. Soon you come to a door with light streaming out through its cracks.
I love the sound effects.
You open the door ever so slightly and peek in. You see a cloaked man frantically pacing back and forth, a torch in his hand. His cloak is open, revealing a muscled frame, inked with tattoos. You think you make out at least one of the tattoos to be the symbol of Nerl, god of the undead. This reminds you of the tattooed body of a man hung in the city square only a month ago. He was believed to be an evil priest of Nerl and was accused of terrible crimes, including raising zombies. Focusing on the rest of the room, your fear is quickly confirmed. There is a large stone symbol of Nerl built into the wall. The stonework appears to be of new construction. In addition, there is a luxurious curtain adorning the wall as well as a number of Spartan beds.
I'm sure this is a bad idea. This person sounds like a necromancer, who is probably incredibly powerful.
WC1cultist.jpg. Image.
Okay, cultists.
Priests of Nerl are not fools and are able to harvest power from their deity to cast dangerous spells. However, you have the element of surprise and there's only one of them.
Yeah, that doesn't matter really.
Attack with spells. Mana 2. Button.
We can hit him with spells, but he's probably going to blow us away.
Attack without spells. Button. Cast a charm spell on him. Button.
Charm is not going to work.
Spy for a bit. Button.
We could spy and see if he leaves. We just can't be attacking everybody.
Spy for a bit. Cast a charm. Spy for a bit.
Let's
Button.
spy a little bit.
Spy for a bit. Life 9, mana 6, gold 60, morale 7, dim. Morale increases 1. Where is she? How could she escape? The man mutters to himself. The sacrifice, ellipsis, must appease him. He whispers.
Okay, good. He's talking to himself.
Sacrifice, you think. No doubt he is referring to human sacrifice, Neryl's favorite sword. What? My mistress, he whispers, tilting his head. You didn't hear anyone else. He must be talking to himself again. A moment later, the priest starts walking toward the door you have cracked open. Quickly, you move away, out of sight, and listen for a few seconds. You hear nothing, not even footsteps. What do you do?
Yeah, he's probably coming right to us.
Attack with spells, mana 2, button.
We're gonna have to hit him.
Attack without spells, button. Wait, button. Wait, button.
Yeah, we can't wait anymore. We're gonna have to hit him with spells.
Attack with spells, mana 2,
He's
button.
gonna probably kill us.
Attack with spells, mana 2. Life 9, mana 4, gold 60, morale 8, dim. Morale increases 1. Mana decreases 2. You nod to Reginald, and the two of you burst into the room. Your quarry appears young, although his face is scarred. He looks at you with the expression of a man who is presently soiling himself. He ducks back as Reginald swings his sword, but not fast enough. The blade slashes his shoulder. He tries to run while chanting something, likely a prayer to his foul god. You strike him in the back with a bolt of flame that engulfs his cloak in fire. He screams and thrashes just before Reginald cuts him down with one great cleave.
Good job. We got rid of him real fast. Kidnapper.
Perhaps now that I reflect upon this, we should have tried to keep him alive. We still know not the fate of the rest of the caravan, you say with a frown.
Yeah, well, I didn't have that option.
In battle there is no time for regret, and not a scratch on us this time. I call that victory, declares Reginald.
Well, maybe next time we'll try waiting.
Continue, button. Continue. Life 9, mana 4, gold 60, morale 8, dim. Now that you are in the room, you can see that you're in living quarters. There are simple beds along the wall and a good-sized chest in the corner. Treasure, you think as you run over and try to lift the lid. Locked.
Oh, of course it's locked.
That Nerulian priest did not die quietly, so perhaps you should have Reginald smash the lid with his sword and then get out of here. On the other hand, there ought to be a key around somewhere. Maybe you should take a few seconds to check.
Yeah.
What do you do? Break the chest. Button. Search around a bit. Button.
Look for a key.
Search around a bit. Life 9, mana 4, gold 100, morale 8, dim. Gold increases 40.
Yes.
You stand guard while I search. You say to Reginald, you kick the body of the priest over. The corpse is a bloody mess, but you don't have time to be dainty about it. The man is nude other than the cloak and a golden amulet around his neck. The amulet is an unholy symbol of Neryl, the god of the undead. You would never keep such an evil thing, but it's coated in gold, so you could have it melted down. You rummage through his sticky cloak. Sure enough, you find a key. You trot over to the chest, key in hand. The key has the same hue of metal as the lock, and you are optimistic that it will fit. You are fumbling with the key when you hear something off in the distance, and a chill goes down your spine. Are more coming?
No.
Did they hear the priest cry out?
More problems.
Normally, you are cautious with chests, having heard that they are sometimes trapped. However, searching the chest for traps will take time and you're not particularly skilled in trap detection.
I doubt it's a mimic.
What do you do? Search the chest for traps. Button. Use the key now. Button. Use the key now.
We're just going to use the key now.
Use the key now. Life 9, mana 4, gold 180, morale 8, dim. Gold increases 80. What kind of booby trap is going to spring on someone with the proper key? You think to yourself. You carefully insert the key into the lock. It's a fit. You close your eyes as you turn the key. The top of the chest pops open as though on a spring and ellipsis.
Okay.
Nothing happens. You exhale in relief. Inside is a bag full of gold pieces, some platinum engraved china, and a small, black-bound writing book.
Yeah. I feel like our money's a little low for all the stuff we're finding.
You gather up your loot and hurry out of the room. The two of you have only taken a few steps into the dark hallway when you see flickering light up ahead. You could run back into the room and hide, prepare a firebolt to cast down the hall, or cast an illusion to try to distract whoever is coming.
Who could be? Could be the ogre.
Hide back in room. Button. Prepare a spell. Mana 2. Button.
We could cast a spell.
Cast an illusion. Mana 2. Button.
Illusions.
Cast an illusion. Prepare. Hide back in room. Button. You gather up your loot and hurry out. Nothing happens. What kind of booby trap? Gold increases 80. Life 9. Go back to previous choices. Life 9. Mana 4. Gold 180.
We have 4 mana left. Boy, we're running out of mana fast.
Gold increases 80. What kind of booby trap is nothing happens. You exhale in relief. You gather up your loot. Hide back in room. Prepare a spell. Mana 2. Button.
Let's prepare a spell.
Prepare a spell. Mana 2. Life 8. Mana 2. Gold 240. Morale 8. Dim. Life decreases 1. Mana decreases 2. Gold increases 60. You keep your voice low as you speak the arcane words needed to ready your spell. Only a moment later, 2 priests of Neryl round the corner, their torches thrust out in front of them.
No good.
You hurl the bolt of fire down the hallway before they can react and strike one priest squarely in the chest.
Sweet.
He ignites and falls to the ground screaming. The other one points at you, and you hear a crackling sound. You expected this and try to press your body against the wall, but you are grazed by the black magic, and cold radiates into your body.
Where the heck is Reginald?
Reginald charges the remaining priest and cuts him down.
Good.
You take the time to search the bodies and find golden unholy symbol medallions on each of them, as well as one silver dagger. Not bad for 20 seconds of work.
That's good. We need some weapons, and we're running out of mana, too.
I tired looting corpses. Let us be off to rescue the merchants and receive a glorious reward, you exclaim.
No. I'm never tired of looting corpses.
Continue. Button. I tired looting corpses. You take the time to search the bodies and find golden unholy symbol medallions on each of them, as well as one silver dagger. Not bad for 20 seconds of work. I tired looting corpses. Let us be off to rescue the merchants and receive a glorious reward, you exclaim. Continue. Button. Continue. Button. Continue. Life 8. Mana 2. Gold 240. Morale 8. Dim. Off you go, deeper into the castle. Soon you find yourself in a library. However, all the books are gone from the tall wooden shelves, either stolen or destroyed. As a wizard, this is disappointing to you. All castle libraries have secret doors, you announce. After searching for a little while, you notice a small statue of a winged boy reading a book worked into the stone wall. You press on the statue's arm, and it shifts down. There is a grinding sound, and you see the bookshelf nearby crack open from the wall. You wedge your fingers into the gap and pry open the door. Immediately before you are stairs descending into the darkness.
Yeah, I think this is where I died when I did it for the other channel. For the game channel, I did this a year ago, and I think when I went down here, there was a really tough guy down there, and I was very unsuccessful.
Dear reader, normally I would give you a choice of whether or not you go down the stairs, but really, who finds a secret door and chooses star not star to investigate?
Dear reader, so we're in third person now.
And so, with lantern in hand, you descend a few steps and then listen. It's deadly quiet down here, and chilly. You urge Reginald to take the lead. After all, he's wearing the armor. There is a small metal lever on the inside of the passage that you suppose is what you use to open the door from the inside. Nevertheless, you decide to leave the door open. The last thing you need is to get trapped in this evil-smelling place.
Okay.
It is some time before you finally reach a small, empty chamber. On the far wall is a large iron door. Scrawled over the door in rusty red dye, or, more likely, dried blood, is a set of elaborate symbols.
Okay.
Gods, what is that? Says Reginald, playing the lantern light over the symbols.
Probably demonology issues.
It is writing in the infernal tongue, you say, a language of devils, demons, and other beasts that inhabit the nightmare universes. At times, I do not envy your knowledge, says Reginald with a faint shudder. The study of magic leads to many dark places, you say. The trick is to not wander too far into the void. What does it say? Asks Reginald in a tone that is not at all enthusiastic or curious. You study the symbols. They are crudely drawn, as though in haste, perhaps scrawled by bloody fingers. I cannot be sure. I believe it is a ward of some sort, a protection spell. A protective spell using such a foul language? Reginald sniffs. I would expect a curse or a fiendish summoning. It is protection against such a summoning, a barrier, you say. Evil knows evil best, and a spellcaster of black magic understands the need to protect himself from the terrors they bring into this world. Reginald grimaces and points the tip of his sword at the warded door. Only a fool would go down there, although I am more a man of curiosity than wisdom. You slap his shoulder, making a dull sound against his breastplate, as you have proven time and again. What do you want to do?
Well, probably this is our death, but let's go down.
Open the door, button. Leave, button. Open the door,
Let's go
button.
down.
Open the door. Life, 8, mana, 2, gold, 240, morale, 8, dim. Maybe there's a treasure room beyond. You joke. Life, 8, mana. Maybe there's a treasure room beyond. You joke. Fortune and glory, my friend, Reginald says with a broad smile. The large iron door shudders and screeches as Reginald slowly pries it open. Once open, your friend's face drops, and you soon realize why. A powerful stench wafts up from the dark stairs below. He takes a deep breath and plunges down the stairway. Continue, button. Continue. Life, 8, mana, 2, gold, 240, morale, 8, dim. The two of you descend for some time before you enter into a large room merely illuminated by green flaming torches fastened to each of the walls. Near the far wall is a dais leading up to an altar with skulls inlaid into the frame, some human, others of animals or perhaps monsters. The lower altar is bloodstained and covered with candles and golden candle holders arranged around a book. The book is bound in what might very well be mummified human skin with hand and finger bones embedded into the cover as though the book were in the grasp of the dead. The title is in infernal, but you don't recognize the words. Beyond the book is a raised part of the altar, white stone, seemingly scoured clean of bloodstains. This surface has more candles, a golden cup, and a large golden bowl filled with some dark liquid, maybe blood.
Probably.
Just before the altar is a narrow but deep pit. Shining a lantern in, you make out something gleaming white. Ellipsis. A skeletal arm and hand. Reginald adds his light to yours and you can now see a heap of bodies, at various stages of decay. The heap is crawling with rats and other vile scavengers.
Yuck.
Sacrifices. The source of the stench. You mutter. I would bet my last copper that Siba's father and the rest of the caravan are among them. Reginald makes a face of disgust. I say we swiftly pilfer what we can from this unholy place and leave.
Yep.
As he says this, the bowl on the upper altar begins to tremble as the candlelight around it ripples. Something is coming, you whisper. It is already here, says Reginald. Black smoke billows up from the bowl and swiftly takes the shadowy form of a horned fiend. His glowing, pitiless eyes rove about the chamber,
God.
taking in everything. Demon.jpg. Image.
That's great. A demon? Great.
Demon, you shout. Despite the terrified look on his face, Reginald has already unslung his backpack as though preparing to scoop valuables from the altar. He might have the right idea. After all, you came here for loot and it might take a moment for this shadow beast to fully take form. That strange book might be valuable. Finally, maybe you can disrupt this fiend's arrival by knocking over the bowl? But do you dare? After all, this monster hasn't acknowledged you yet and messing about with his bowl is likely a dangerous way to introduce yourself.
Well, that's a lot of decisions, but we have to try one.
What do you do? Grab the book and run. Button. Try to disrupt the fiend's arrival. Button.
I say we disrupt the arrival.
Try to disrupt the fiend's arrival. Life, 8, mana, 2, gold, 240, morale, 8, dim. The bowl is on the upper table of the altar, presently out of reach. You could jump up on the lower table, grab the bowl, and throw it across the room or down into the sacrificial pit. Another option would be to try to just quickly knock over the bowl by throwing your backpack at it. You should be able to retrieve your backpack easily if you disrupt the summoning. What do you do? Grab the bowl and throw it. Button. Throw your backpack at it. Button.
It's up there a little bit, so throwing our backpack is the best plan.
Throw your backpack at it. Button. Grab the bowl and throw it. Throw your backpack at it.
Let's throw our
Button.
backpack at
Throw
it.
your backpack at it. Life, 8, mana, 2, gold, 340, morale, 10, dim. Morale increases 2. Gold increases 100.
Ooh, nice.
When it comes to throwing things, you've never been a particularly good shot, at least not compared to Reginald. Growing up, he'd always beat you in games of dexterity and aim. Still, you can hardly miss this bowl at such a short range using such a large projectile.
I guess we're friends. We just now found that out.
You throw your backpack. The pack hits the bowl, knocking it up and over, crashing against the back of the altar with a dull clang of soft metal. Your pack mostly struck the table lip of the upper altar and so falls down onto the lower table, scattering candles. A hissing scream of rage echoes off the walls as the shadow fiend loses shape. However, the shadows do not disappear as you had hoped. Rather, they retreat up high, near the ceiling of the chamber, swirling like a dust devil. The torches dim and flicker as though their greenish light is being sucked in by the beast's malevolent rage.
Yeah, I guess we didn't get rid of it.
Not vanquished, but perhaps diminished, you think.
That's good.
Meanwhile, Reginald is hard at work, blowing out candles and throwing the golden candlesticks into his backpack. Without a better idea, you join him in looting. First, you leap up onto the lower altar and grab your backpack. As a wizard, the most interesting thing you've seen on this altar is the human skin-bound book. You grab that first and throw it into your pack. You then step away a golden goblet and are reaching for the overturned golden bowl at the back of the altar when you hear a horrid hiss, loud and close. Continue. Button.
Uh-oh.
Continue. Life, 6. Mana, 2. Gold, 340.
We must have got
10,
hit by
dim.
something.
Life decreases 2. You look up in time to see the demon, now mostly reformed, streaking down at you, his bottomless eyes burning with rage. You leap back, but not fast enough. One of his shadowy claws swipes into you. Pain lances through your body.
Uh-oh.
You stagger as you turn and begin to run, slinging your backpack over your shoulder. Reginald is a few steps ahead of you. Your souls are mine, comes the hissing voice. Now your strength returns and you are bolting up the stairs, leaping 3 steps at a time. There is a wheezing snarl not far behind. You make it through the large iron door. The door is heavy, and the hinges are tight. Nevertheless, you expect that if you hurl your weight against it, you can knock it shut. But this will take time and the demon is nearly upon you.
Yep.
What do you do? Try to close it. Button. No time. Just run. No time. Try to close it. Button.
Let's try to close it.
Try to close it. Life, 6. Mana, 2. Gold, 340. Morale, 10. Dim.
I guess every time we make a good decision, we get more morale.
You run into the room, turn back, and slam your weight against the door, which grudgingly shuts with the whine of its hinges. Well, it almost shuts. Some debris has fallen in the way, keeping it open a crack. There is a snarl, and the door shakes. But the arcane symbol scrawled on the door appear to be a ward meant to provide a barrier to spirits. You would like to open the door enough to kick the debris out of the way and shut it properly, but you don't dare. Instead, you concentrate on running as fast as possible up the stairway after Reginald. As you reach the secret door in the library, there is a great bang that echoes from below, followed by a jubilant shout of freedom. Keep running, you shout to Reginald. He does not seem to need this encouragement as he sprints out the library door. You follow him out of the library and down several passageways. Rounding a corner, you are suddenly in a large and lavishly furnished room filled with the soft light of dozens of candles. In the middle are 3 of the evil priests holding hands, surrounding what appear to be a pile of corpses. The men are chanting in the infernal language. One of the corpses begins to twitch.
More priest. Ugh. We could probably take him, but I'm out of mana almost.
Just to the side of the priest stands the massive ogre. His pale white body and large cold dark eyes fix on Reginald.
Great.
Meanwhile, the corpse that had been twitching springs up to its feet with alarming speed. You think you recognize him as one of the priests you had killed earlier. The undead creature levels its hungry gaze upon you.
Oh, we got an ogre. We got 3 priests plus 1 zombie priest. Good, this is a nightmare.
What do you do? Attack with your dagger. Button. Blast them. Mana 4. Button.
Do we have enough mana?
Charm the ogre. Mana 3. Button.
Ooh, wait. Charm the ogre. Let's try charming the ogre. Let's go for it.
Charm the ogre. Mana 3.
That might work.
Run away. Button. Run away. Button.
Oh, we don't have enough mana.
Attack with your dagger. What do you do? Just to the side
We
of the
don't
priest
have
stands the
enough
mask.
mana.
Keep running. As you reach the secret, you run into the room. Life, 6. Go back to previous choices. Life, 6. Mana, 2. Gold, 340.
Oh, we don't have
Morale,
enough
10.
mana.
Dim.
Oh,
Game stats.
we should have saved some mana. Let's go for it.
You run into the room. As you reach, keep running. You shout to, just to the side of the priest. What do you do? Attack with your dagger. Button. Blast them. Mana 4. Button. Charm the ogre. Mana 3. But run away. Button.
All we can do is really run away.
Run away. Charm the ogre. Blast them. Mana 4. Attack with your dagger. Button. What do you do? Attack. Blast them. Mana 4. Charm the ogre. Mana. Run away.
Let's
Button.
just run away.
Run away. Life, 4. Mana, 2. Gold,
Ooh.
340. Morale, 8. Dim. Morale decreases 2. Life decreases 2. There are too many you think as you turn and run. I will crush your soul. You look back to see the red-eyed undead priest sprinting up behind you at an unnatural speed. Before you can turn to face him, he pounces, knocking you on your face. You feel great pain as teeth rip into the back of your neck. The thing says something, but you cannot make out what it is because his mouth is full of your flesh.
Oh, great. We're gonna die right here.
I am free, and now I can feast, it says after it takes a gulp. Your arms are pinned below you. You are helpless. You do not know where Reginald is, but dimly you can hear the clangs and shouts of battle back in the room you fled from.
I
No
guess
body
we
cannot help you.
screwed up. I think we're dead.
And then, suddenly, the weight lifts off of you. The undead priest skips away down the hall. I have a better use for you. Fool, it shouts. You get up and run back to the candlelit room to find Reginald holding his bloody side. Merely a scratch. He mutters with a smile. I slew the ogre, and the others fled. Ellipsis. Cowards. He says. You feel a pang of shame. You hadn't meant to leave him. You expected him to run, too.
Okay, yeah, we did screw up.
Continue. Button. Continue. Life, 4. Mana, 2. Gold, 340. Morale, 8. Dim. As you and Reginald catch your breath, from somewhere in the castle echoes the distinct raspy cackle of that dark spirit with the hellish eyes. A chill goes up your spine. You do not want to tangle with that thing again. You suspect neither your spells nor blades can harm it. Perhaps it would be wise to run from this cursed place. On the other hand, maybe you could afford to take a few seconds to search the bodies of your recently fallen enemies? But there is still the matter of the merchant's daughter, Siva.
We gotta go get her.
What do you do? Search the bodies. Button. Find Siva first. Button.
Let's find her.
Find Siva first. Life, 4. Mana, 2. Gold, 340. Morale, 10. Dim. Morale increases 2. Come, Reginald, we must find her, you say. The two of you are debating where exactly you should go to accomplish this when there is a blood-curdling scream not far off. Before you can react, you see Siva, her eyes bloodshot, run into the candlelight. Gods be praised, you exclaim. Gods, we must flee. A monster comes, Siva shouts.
Okay, we gotta save her.
Continue, button.
Alright, Siva, let's get out of here.
Life, 4. Mana, 2. Gold, 340. Morale, 10. Dim. The 3 of you run. The ears. The ears you complain as you run through the castle entrance chamber. You are referring to the goblin corpses from which you could harvest trophies. No number of rubbery ears are worth your soul, Reginald exclaims. Despite your present anxiety, this strikes you as somewhat funny, and you plan to remind him of his words later, if you survive. For now, you do as your friend advises and keep running.
Yeah, we might as well get out of here.
The three of you retreat to the forest. You are all exhausted, and so once safely away from that cursed ruin and reasonably certain no evil follows, you make camp. Because you are still in goblin country, you decide against the campfire. Instead, you will have to just make do with the sleeping roll in your backpack. It is a rather cold night, and you notice Siva carries nothing but the ripped up clothing on her back. What do you do?
Yeah, let's give her something to wear.
Offer to share a blanket. Button. Offer her your blanket. Button. Shrug and go to sleep. Button. Offer to share a blanket. Button.
We can share a blanket.
Offer her your blanket. Button. Offer to share a blanket. Button.
Let's just offer her a blanket.
Offer her your blanket. Button. Offer her your blanket. Life 9. Mana 7. Gold 340. Morale 11. Dim. Mana increases 5. Life increases 5.
Ooh, we got our life back.
Morale increases 1. My lady, you bow. My blanket is yours. You present the blanket in your outstretched arms. Such a gentleman. She smiles, curtsies, and takes the blanket from you. Chivalry is alive and well in the fallow land forest, she says to you. She then quickly gathers up a pile of leaves and pine needles into a woodland bed and curls up.
We sure are. I am chivalrous.
I'll take the first watch. Reginald offers and then sighs contentedly as he pulls out his own blanket from his backpack and wraps it around himself. He then flops down with his back against a tree. You stare at him expectantly and clear your throat several times until he finally gives up his joke and hands you his blanket. You then roll up in it and fall fast asleep. It is your watch, Reginald says as he shakes you awake. After some stretching, yawning, and complaining, you hand Reginald his blanket and take your turn at the watch. Your eyes wander to the sleeping merchant's daughter. A sliver of moonlight has escaped through the branches above and illuminates her delicate nose. You decide that it's a pretty little nose. For whatever reason, this leads you to wonder if even your pinky would fit into one of her tiny nostrils. You chuckle to yourself as you imagine the expression on her face at waking with your finger in her nose. And then you feel a pang of guilt for imagining this.
Yeah, sounds like that sounds very creepy.
The young maiden has just lost her father. I should not make sport of her. Ellipsis. Even in my mind, you think.
Yeah, that's non-consensual contact. We're not doing that.
It's obvious that you need something to occupy your thoughts in order to stay awake. Continue. Button.
Yeah, like watching for enemies.
Continue. Button. Continue. Life 9. Mana 7. Gold 340. Morale 11. Dim. Checkpoint reached. Good job.
Got another checkpoint. Cool.
You wait until Reginald begins snoring before you pull your spellbook out of your backpack. Reginald hates it when you study magic while you are supposed to be keeping watch, but you need something to distract you from the cold. With flint and tinder you light a single candle to read by. The arcane text that you have read 1,000 times over, but differently each pass through, provides a sort of familiar comfort. A comfort you are grateful for in this dark forest. Soon you are lost in study. After some time, you can never keep track of time when immersed in magical lore. You exclaim, yes. Danger? Reginald rolls over his eye slits. He is only half awake. I understand invisibility. I can turn invisible. At last. This spell has eluded me for so long. At least I think I understand. You say as you point down at the arcane symbols in your book.
This would be such a great game if all these things were rooted into actual menus and spells and you can actually learn stuff. I feel like there's nobody who's really created a text adventure where you can actually make your own decisions. It feels like everybody wants you to follow these pre-designed pathways. Wouldn't it be so much easier if I could choose the spells I want to learn and then use those spells in the adventure? I mean, isn't that much better? I feel like everybody just wants you to do what they tell you to do. It's like such a linear path for everything.
Go to sleep. Reginald slurs, and then his head falls back to the ground. This is Goblin Country, and I am on watch. I dare not sleep, you say, but Reginald does not hear you. He is snoring again. It turns out that you are not so vigilant after all. At some point as you gaze at the candle flame, you fall asleep. Continue. Button.
I guess we're gonna get
Continue.
snuck
Button.
up on.
Continue. Life 9. Mana 7. Gold 340. Morale 11. Dim. Awaken. Someone is near. Reginald whispers as he shakes you. You sit up groggily. It is early morning. At first all you hear are singing birds. Then, sure enough, voices trickling through the trees.
A goblin party?
Not goblins. Not in the daytime, you think. They approach upon the trail, Siva says, huddling in her blanket. To the trail then, but keep quiet, says Reginald. Why? Why not stay still and let them pass? Asks Siva. Because we are adventurers, you whisper fiercely as you gather your backpack. Refusing to be left by herself, Siva follows as you creep up to the edge of the trail. Thank the gods she is not sniffling or otherwise making a racket. You have just taken up your position in the brush when you see the first of a column of priests of Neril.
Yeah, more of these priests.
Several of them are speaking casually, loudly even, as though they and not the goblins own this part of the woods. As they pass by, you see in the middle of the column a large stretcher made of thick wooden branches and rough spun fabric. It's carried by 8 priests. Upon the stretcher is a pure white horse whose legs are bound with rope, not a horse, but a unicorn. You have not seen one before, but the long, softly glowing horn is a dead giveaway.
We would love to save a unicorn, but I don't want to die.
Several meters behind the main party are a tall man and a woman. You know the young woman, or to be precise, you know of her. She is the beautiful Lady Igraine, daughter of Lord Igraine. Her father holds a keep and estate some distance from town, and her family comes to Ring City for annual tournaments. More than once you have gazed wistfully at her from the cheap seats far in the corner of the jousting arena.
Man, I'm such a creeper, this character.
Allow me to take a moment to apologize to those readers who in real life prefer to gaze wistfully at handsome men. Since you are playing the part of a heterosexual male wizard and are now gazing most wistfully at this woman, you are disappointed and somewhat horrified. Though, not because she's a woman, but because she is, in fact, an Irulian priest.
Well, There's one reason why you don't have to apologize. It's your story. Tell it as you want to tell it. But what you could do is allow us to play a man or a woman and then flip the story. The genders would be no problem to flip and switch. So you don't have to make everything stereotypical gender roles. I mean, you could just say, do you like men or women? Many developers are putting that into their games if there's any kind of romantic interest involved. And it doesn't necessarily have to fit those gender stereotypical roles. It could just be, we see this lady, we looked at her, you could ask us, do you like her? And if we like her, then you could say, how do you like her? Do you like her because of her professionalism, because of her magic, because of her prestige, or because she's female, or because she's attractive, or because she's strong? So we really don't have to worry about things like that, because it's not a new thing that people like people for various reasons. So yeah, I always tell developers, if you want to make games a little bit more modern, then let us make a choice on who and what we like and for our own reasons. Then you can just abolish all the gender stereotypes and just let us do what we want to do. Then everyone is happy. And of course, you can always let us be a female wizard. What would that change? Absolutely nothing. None of the dialogue between us and Reginald would change. We're not in a relationship. We're friends. It doesn't matter if I was a male, a female. It doesn't matter what my pronouns are. It will not change my relationship with Reginald, because nothing we do with Reginald is based on our gender. So that's the thing about these roles that are typically in most RPGs. Yes, they heavily lean toward male, young characters, heterosexual characters, but you don't have to. We can be whatever we want to be. And our sexuality doesn't have to play any part in it.
And the man with her, you wonder. After a moment you recognize him as her father, Lord Egrain. To think a man of such an illustrious line would get mixed up with this evil lot. Anyway, back to Lady Egrain. Her jet black hair is pulled back to reveal a most shapely, long neck. Her flawless skin glows in the dawn light. It is as though the sun itself, desperate to touch her, has found a path through the forest canopy. The golden unholy symbol of Neril hanging over her bosom contrasts nicely with her large brown eyes.
So obviously our character is sexually attracted to this female. So that's fine. I mean, if our character, not all heterosexual males are attracted to females. So that's another thing. I think what happens is we get these ideas and we have an ideal of what we want to have the character do. But really, if it's a choice game, my character should get to choose whether or not I'm attracted to her or not. Just so my character can go, I'm not attracted to her. She seems fine, but she's also evil. Or my character can be incredibly attracted to her and say she's evil, and that makes her even more attractive, And there's nothing, what I was talking about earlier, the whole finger in the nose thing, we obviously, all humans have fantasies. There's nothing wrong with fantasies. Humans think of each other in sexual terms all the time. There's nothing wrong with it. Your fantasies are your thoughts, and your thoughts are not wrong. Acting out on things that are non-consensual, that's wrong. Acting out on things that are improper or illegal, inappropriate, stuff like that, it depends. I mean, you can say something inappropriate. That doesn't necessarily mean you're wrong. It just means you're inappropriate. Now, if you were to act out in a non-consensual way, then that could get you in trouble with the law or into some major civil or criminal concerns. So there's a lot of reasons. But fantasy, again, is just fantasy. And again, I'm just mentioning this because I see developers really trying hard to deal with gender and pronouns and deal with concepts in the medieval world, in the fantasy world. And I feel like they do a great job, but I think they're worried of offending someone. You're not going to offend anyone, because if a person playing this game doesn't want to be considered a male protagonist, then they just won't play the game. And again, if you are worried that the people playing the game are going to be offended by playing a heterosexual male protagonist, then offer a chance for the person to be whatever gender they want and allow them to play any type of sexuality. These are super easy to implement. I mean, most of you developers are incredible geniuses, and you put in all kinds of, take a few minutes to put in a couple of choices and then put it in our status menu. We'll remember. let me be whatever I want to be. If I want to be bisexual, I want to be heterosexual, I want to be non-binary, I want to be female, male. Just allow me to make my own choices. Also, you don't even have to label or title anything. You can ask my character, do you like males? Do you like females? Do you like both? You can do it like that. You can also ask, do you like this type of female? Describe the female in a non-biased way, and then my character can decide whether I'm attracted to them. And then what would be really cool, what I don't see a lot of developers do, is when we see something, let us decide if that's going to distract us. For instance, let's say I am a person looking at another person and I find them very attractive. Would that distract me? Would that cause me to lose a luck? Or would that cause me to fumble flint and tinder and start a fire and burn my foot? Would that cause me to breathe heavy? Would I have a biological reaction? So there's a lot of things you can do, and it allows the player to play the game. And as I've always said on the primary channel, let me play the game. Let me make the decisions, because I want to play the game. I love your narrative, but let me play the game and decide how I want to interact with everything in these beautiful, gorgeous, descriptive environments.
We cannot go back there. Not yet. Lord Egrain is saying. Why would we go back ever? That ruin offers no decent path. Lady Egrain replies. There is some unfinished business. However, it can wait. Lord Egrain says as he absently pats the pocket of his immense, fur-lined overcoat. The old one will move on from Castle Inverness to seek the living. Let us hope he does not exact revenge upon us.
Okay, so they're hiding some really dark secrets. So they're going to kill a unicorn, which is really not great. I'm a big fan of the last unicorn. You kill that unicorn, I'm going to have a problem with you. I really feel like the story between me and Reginald should have been expanded a lot more. It would have been nice in the beginning of this if we could have had a little background between me and Reginald. Maybe we should be expressing some stories, because I feel like there's a history here that isn't spoken of. Like Reginald and his farting, our relationship as friends, and his cowardly moves, and then he's really brave, and then we got cowardly. I feel like we missed an opportunity. Maybe there's a third statistic or attribute, like our symbiosis of some kind, our friendship. Maybe our friendship should also affect our morale rating. Yeah, I feel like there's definitely some things missing, but it's fine.
After the column has passed out of earshot, Reginald sighs. A unicorn, was it not? Where did they find such a creature?
Well, I don't know where they found it, Reginald, but they found it, and they caught it. It's a very hapless little unicorn right now. I don't know. It must have been asleep.
And what do they plan to do with it, you ask? I wager they do not plan to simply feed her apples and comb her mane. Reginald replies.
How does he know it's a girl? I think that's really funny. It's really funny that they're signing all these genders. And it's like, how did he see it was a girl? How does he know it's a girl unicorn? Okay. TMI, I don't need to explain how a person would know a unicorn is a male or female. But really, are they male and female? I mean, do we even know how unicorns procreate? I mean, are they horses? Aren't they just kind of like sentient creatures? We have no idea how they procreate. I assume they procreate as horses do. But how does Reginald know it's a male or female? Okay, that's a little tricky things. I get stuck on these little points because when I write, and I am a writer, when I write, if the characters see a horse and it has a male gender specific biological organ, then that's a male. If it has a female specific biological organ, it's a female. And if it is missing, I guess, everything, I don't know if you know this, if you're maybe you're a medieval vet and maybe it's been gilded or gelded or whatever they call it. It's, fixed for horses. I don't know. But how would you know that unless you just had the expertise? And I think that's where I think in D&D, you make a roll, a nature roll. That's what you would do in D&D. You'd make a nature roll, and if you didn't have the expertise, you wouldn't know. Like, I feel like a lot of these things could be so great if they were added as a random chance. And that's what makes D&D so good. And this game is called D&D RPG Adventure, so something like that. I'm sorry if I got the title wrong. I incredibly apologize. It's a really hard to remember title. I feel like they could have just called it like... It doesn't have to be called D&D Adventures. I figured you could call it... you could call it something incredibly simple. I don't know what you could call it, but it has a really long title. And I feel like if they're worried about the name, giving, because Wizards of the Coast is the ones who do D&D, I feel like you should just call it that. I mean, I'm sure they wouldn't care. I'm sure they would. I'm sure with a little conversation with them, they'd probably say, oh, call it whatever you want. It gives us advertisement. And I don't think they'd make you pay anything, but I often forget names of stuff when they mix the acronyms, like RPGs mixed with D&D. It's like, I would love to see games like this have its own unique name, like call it like Tessagal or Curlibrum or Vasca. Because, there's so many games out there that have these really great names, like Eldrum. It has its own name. Path of Adventure, it has its own name. And I feel like beautiful games like this should have its own name. And just think of a name and call it that. And then that way we know, hey, look, what were you playing? Oh, I was playing Sebastopol the other day. And we know what the game is called. Now, if I try to remember this game, I'm going to go, oh, I was playing RPG something, another RPG player's mage. It's really hard to remember these names. They're really, and I'm not trying to be provocative or annoying or snarky. I'm being snarky-ish, but not snarky. I just mean it'd be so much easier if these games just had a name. Then I can remember it so much easier. But I think these little choices, a lot of these choice games, it's an illusion of choice because there's so little choice you actually get to make. I mean, I love when I get to make a choice, but again, it's just so few choices. And I feel like the technology's there to be able to make thousands more choices. I think I'd have so much more fun if I could make much more choices. And I think I'm going to need a bit of a break here in a second and a refill of my coffee. And I'm going to need another granola bar here because I need a little snack.
It is a lady unicorn. You ask.
Okay, let's take a quick little break and then I'm going to come back. Give me 5 minutes to take a quick little break and I'll be right back. Y'all enjoy the music. Let me just take off my headphones. There'll be a little noise. I'll be right back. I just need a little tiny break. Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 5:08 p.m.
Play for about another hour, and then I'm thinking I'm going to have to figure out what I'm doing for dinner. Let me make some more coffee. Right back. Almost done. I hope you all are doing good today and enjoying the new channel. I hope you're loving these nice long Let's Plays. $19 for this game is not bad. That's a pretty good price if it unlocks all content and it gets rid of ads. This is absolutely my last cup of coffee today. I cannot have any more. I won't go to sleep. I cannot have any more coffee today. If I have any more coffee today, I will be up all night. I do not want to have any more coffee. This granola bar tastes a little coconutty. My girlfriend got these granola bars from Amazon, fresh. Sometimes I don't like them. They're kind of gross. But actually, this one actually tastes coconutty and good. But yeah, I need to figure out what I'm doing for dinner. I'm also wondering if I should break this up into smaller episodes and also put it on the main channel. But I would break it up into smaller pieces, maybe maybe at most 25 to 30 minutes each piece. Or what do y'all think? Should I just keep it exclusive to Double Tap? Well, y'all let me know what you want to do. You want me to put it on both channels? I can do that. For those of you who have less time, you can watch the 30-minute segments. And for those of you who have all day, who sleep with Double Tap, and go to sleep to Double Tap, I can keep it on the main channel. We'll see. I'll let you guys decide. You all can decide. Y'all can decide. Okay. Sorry you could hear me chew. All right. I'm very interested in this story with the unicorn and these two tall people. Now, really, what's really strange about this story? Now, the author here loves to use size, and I think that works. I love hearing size. I don't often use it. When I write, I don't often include size like that, but it's actually really a good descriptor. I think they forget to include smell. This person's really good at describing physical beauty. But I also think they should include things like reflection and shine and clothing and material and smell, footwear, armor, magical auras. So when I write, I often listen to really good people who describe things really well. Because I love writing. I'm a person who really loves lit RPG. And description is incredibly important to me. Not only because I'm blind, but because I love to hear the sound of description, But yeah, get a little sip of this coffee because it's nice and fresh. And I love to have that first hot sip. Oh my God, that's so good. You know, there's another little thing I was talking to my girlfriend about. I'm talking to Marissa about and was saying, why is it when you try coffee at somebody else's house, the coffee tastes better than your own house's coffee? Can anybody tell me why that's the case? Because my girlfriend has the same exact coffee I do, but I swear to God, and I don't add anything to it because I drink coffee black. Except when I go to Starbucks, because that's not really coffee to me, that's just a dessert. Tell me why her plain Keurig, no cream, no sugar, tastes better than my plain Keurig, no cream, no sugar. Is it because somebody else made it for me? And does that really count as making it? Because you just shove the thing down and pop the little hole into the little cup and hot water fills in it and you just put it in a cup. You know? Again, thank you very much to MyNoise BBA for the use of your music sound generators. I will always mention MyNoise BBA. I use it in almost every video. I appreciate them. You can always find them in my descriptions for the most part. If you don't, check another video. It's going to be in the description. And of course, you can just write in capital M, lowercase y, capital N, lowercase OISE, capital B, capital B, capital A, MyNoise BBA. You can find them in the Apple iOS App Store. Don't know if they're on Android. I have no idea. But I really want to thank them. I do appreciate them so much. Without them, a lot of my games would be incredibly boring. They wouldn't have any sound and no music. And you can combine, with MyNoise BBA, you can combine multiple sound generators. And you can do a lot of content creation. And I haven't had any copyright issues. So again, that's incredibly generous of them. And for a very nominal fee, you can purchase the whole package and get all the content you want. Literally, folks, there's not very many companies out there that will give you all of their proprietary stuff, their IPO stuff, for one low price. I've had MyNoise BBA for almost 3-4 years now, I think. And I am in love with what they do. And they're very generous, very few problems. I've never noticed a bug. I've never had an issue with them. I've never had a copyright claim on YouTube, which is always very problematic and very stressful. Now, there are other sound generators I've had tons of problems with. And I've never had a problem with MyNoise BBA. And another thing about MyNoise BBA is they keep creating these new RPGs sound generators, which are fantastic and incredibly well mixed. Means that I can make fire come out, I can make wind sounds. If I want to make dogs and cats come out, I can make that happen. If I want to make a market come out or an office party, if I want to make like a dance on the beach or a party, I can do kind of anything I want with their sounds. And I can lower or raise certain sounds and create my own customized soundtracks and sound generators. You can combine multiple sound generators. And also, you can name those sound generators, favorite them, and they're always finding new downloads. And again, some of their music is hauntingly beautiful. So, MyNoise gets a free commercial, since I'm chomping anyway, because I want to show them respect. Please pick it up for yourself today. All right, we're gonna play a little while longer, and then I gotta get some dinner, and I'm getting hungry. And this granola bar is gonna hold me, but that's only gonna hold me for so long, and I need to see what Marissa's having for dinner, because she got groceries, so she might be making some spaghetti, so I need to check in with her, because I might want to roll over there, maybe get some spaghetti. Because all I've got in my refrigerator is hamburger meat. And though I can make some hamburgers, it just doesn't sound that enjoyable. I'll make hamburgers tomorrow, I promise. But yeah. All right, let's keep moving here. We gotta wrap this up.
Oh, I did not. Such craven and pathetic simpletons. Sibba seeps as she glares after the column of priests disappearing around a bend. I propose we tie each of them down and cut off one finger at a time. We will bind their wounds to ensure they will not lose too much blood and fall unconscious. I will then take their eyelids and...
Oh, she's kind of a little brutal.
Oh, I do not think all that will be necessary. You interrupt. There are perhaps 24 of them. I do not think we will have time for all that were.
Oh, what the?
You and Reginald exchange perplexed looks, and then Reginald whispers in your ear, young maidens love unicorns.
Okay, so there's this weird thing in unicorn things. Okay, so she does not sound like... Okay, traditionally in fantasy, unicorns will only speak to virgins, male or female. I know. I'm sorry. Fantasies are fantasies. It makes no sense, because virginity is just a state of mind. But if you're talking about fantasy, they like young maidens, not because they're young maidens. They don't care. You just have to be a virgin. So, fantasy is really strange. Fantasy and mythology are great things to... Their conjecture and their mythos, it's just very fun. Nonsensible, yes, but fun.
Sibba regards the two of you with hard eyes. We should attack them now and make them pay for their transgressions.
All right, I didn't remember grabbing her. Oh, that's right, she ran to us. I feel like they should have included more information. Oh, that's right, we gave her a blanket. Okay, I'm sorry, that's me. Yeah, she did come with us. We gave her blankets. She liked us. I feel like the female protagonists in these stories are always incredibly innocent. Like, I feel like she has seen more than what they make her appear to be. Why do they always make female protagonists virginal and simple and innocent? Why can't they be sex-hungry goddesses that just like are very much used to, have been around the block at least, or are comfortable with their sexuality, or at least know how to garner consent and know how to express their sexuality? Why do these characters always have to be so virginal? Why is virginal an aspect that's so important in fantasy games? I have never found that to be very sensible. I think it's ridiculous. Even if somebody is a virgin, it doesn't necessarily make them innocent. I'm sorry, that's just my opinion.
There are too many. Reginald protests, even with the element of surprise.
Yeah, you're right, Reginald. There are too many of them.
I thought you said you were adventurers. Sibba interrupts.
Well, now she's getting snarky.
Adventurers, not idiots. Reginald replies, his pride clearly hurt.
Okay, let's keep our voices down.
There are only 3 of us, and they are slowed by their burden. We could cut through the woods and get ahead of them. We shall ambush them as they come by.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
Or we could follow them from a distance and learn more about our quarry. Perhaps strike at a more opportune time, Reginald says.
Yeah, Reginald's actually making a lot more sense.
And perhaps they will notice us following them. Or perhaps they are journeying to some vile fortification that we cannot hope to storm. I say we ambush them now while they're in the open, Sibba says.
Yeah, she has a good point. But again, there's more of them than us.
What do you say?
We're not ambushing them. I don't think we can do enough damage. How much mana do I have?
Ambush them. Button.
Well, if Reginald cuts one down and I use magic, what is she gonna do? Because her name sounds like Simba the lion. I mean, if they could tell me what kind of magic I have, that'd be great.
Follow them. Button. Vertical scroll bar. 5 pages. Follow them. Ambush them. Button.
Both of them have good ideas. Let's wait for them to be a little bit more vulnerable. Let's follow.
Follow them. Button. Follow them. Life. 9. Mana. 7. Gold. 340. Morale,
And my
11,
mana is
10.
building up, which is really cool. I would like my mana to be at max before I go for it.
Why is our once demure, frightened merchant's daughter suddenly wishing to play the role of a bloodthirsty battle tactician? You wonder.
She sounds like a mole. If she's a mole, she's gonna find a fireball, in her back.
Dear Sibba, we will mete out justice to these villains for the death of your father among other countless evil deeds in due time. You are not trained in the art of war as Reginald and I are. Even if we set a successful ambush, their numbers are simply too great for 2 men.
Yeah, exactly. We can't be just ambushing people. I mean, this is magic users we're talking here. And they didn't even describe the dude. The dude's probably wearing heavy-duty armor.
There are 3 of us, Sibba says fiercely as she thrusts out her palm. A blade for me? Certainly adventurers have more weapons than they need.
And it'd be great if we knew what Reginald had. I mean, we've known him our whole life and we don't know what kind of weapons he's carrying. Again, being able to control our party and play the game would be great.
Reginald shrugs, unbuckles a dagger belt, and hands it to her. Even if they scurry off to a fortification of some kind, we will take them. I have the trust of the captain of the guard of Ring City. He will not suffer evil so close, says Reginald.
Or at least we're getting some story.
The three of you set off after the priests while keeping a good distance away, outside most of the time. Luckily, their party is so noisy that tracking them is trivial.
Well, yeah. They don't seem to be afraid, so that's another bad sign.
After a few hours, your quarry leaves the trail and hikes over a field. You now have to follow a bit closer in order to not lose them.
Okay, now we're going to get noticed. And how we follow... Well, I guess we're using their light to follow them. We're using sound. It's kind of really cool. We're using sound to follow them.
Soon, they stop on a hill with a large slab of granite at the top. They set the unicorn down on this slab and surround it. They begin chanting. The chant is an infernal, but you can only make out a few words from here. They are chanting a prayer. You think. Something about forgiveness.
I don't care about the unicorn. I don't want to die for a unicorn. Mind you, that unicorn could give us some big-time treasure, and we are a treasure hunter.
I am no Nerulean priest, but I do not think this bodes well for the unicorn, says Reginald.
Why does Reginald care about the unicorn? Silly.
They mean to sacrifice him, Siba says.
So?
The unicorn is a him? Reginald asks.
Yeah, I mean, why does everyone keep saying him and her? He says it's a her. She calls it a him. I think that's funny.
Yes, I observed his. Or when they carried him by our hiding spot. Siba responds.
I observed him. Okay, well, she's making sense. She didn't say he had a male organ. I mean, she could have just said he has a penis. It's really silly. If you call this game with dark material, why is biological descriptions incorrect? Biological description is not it's not profane. It is normal. You could say it's a male dog because of its genitalia. I mean, we can just say things have genitalia. I mean, we don't have to make it all weird.
Irrelevant, you say in exasperation. Our enemies stand in the open and on high ground. We cannot approach unnoticed.
And besides, animals don't wear clothes, so we obviously know their genitalia. Unless you're like me and you're blind and you don't see any genitalia, then you're like, I would have no idea, nor do I give a rat's butt if a horse is a male or female.
Allow me to lure them to you, to the forest edge. I shall play the part of the frightened, lost girl. They will be overjoyed to recapture what they lost. You can then attack from your hiding places, says Siba.
That is a good plan, but then you also could get killed doing that.
No, my lady, they may harm you, says Reginald. I will disembowel them, she says, brandishing the dagger Reginald lent her.
Yeah, but we don't know how good you are with that dagger.
I understand your anger for what they did to your father, but do not die a fool, says Reginald. A fool, am I? Siba asks. Her face is such a visage of malice that you and Reginald both take a step back. Reginald stutters. Perhaps stealth would serve us better. You interject. I might turn invisible, creep into their midst, and cut the unicorn free.
Yeah, that's a good move. It could be, but I can get caught too.
My friend, surely your powers are best spent spewing forth gouts of deadly fire, not sneaking about like a rat. Fire and steel, simple and effective, says Reginald.
Freeing the unicorn, it's okay. I mean, these are all plans.
What do you do?
All these are plans.
Use fire and steel, mana 6, button.
Wow, that's a lot of mana.
Turn invisible, mana 4, button.
We can save some mana. You know what? I think the direct approach may be the best bet, but then we're going to take a lot of damage.
Use Siba as bait, button.
No, we're not using her as bait.
Use Siba as bait. Use fire and steel, mana 6, button.
But then again, if we separate the group, we can get rid of the priest, and then we can work on the two folks. Ooh, this is such hard. Okay, let's see what happens if we take the direct approach. The next time we play through, we'll try a different approach.
What do you do? My friend, use fire and steel, mana 6.
Let's try
button.
fire and steel. Here we go.
Reward, suicidal tendencies. Points, 0, luck, 1 times 2 bonus equals 2 total. As they say, fools boldly go where angels fear to tread. Or is it the opposite? Were you thinking you might get let off easy?
Okay, looks like we did something goofy. Okay, so this game has a gotcha mechanic. So if you do something really, really, really foolish, you get an achievement, and then you also can sometimes just outright lose. That was probably a poor move. We should have been a little bit more indirect.
Reward, suicidal tendencies. Points, 0, luck, 1 times 2 bonus
okay,
equals
so
2 total.
then there's a
As they
pop-up.
say, fools boldly go where angels fear to tread. Or is it the
So
opposite? Were
you just
thinking
need
might
to
get let off
double
easy?
tap and you'll get rid of the pop-ups.
Life, minus 91, mana, 1,
Oh!
340, morale, 11, dim. Game
Wow,
stats.
we got smoked.
Mana decreases 6. Life decreases 100.
Woo.
Certainly, they plan to sacrifice the unicorn, and we must act before they do so. If we can scatter them long enough, Siba can cut the unicorn free. Then we would have an additional ally. We shall strike like lightning, says Reginald. With you and Reginald in the lead, you rush up the grassy hill. The murmurs and chanting from the evil priests turn to shouts of surprise and alarm.
We
Soon
screwed up.
hissing rays of death magic slice the air around you. You are struck in the leg and go down on one knee. Fortunately, you are close enough to them to use your fan of fire spell.
Yeah, it'd be nice if we could choose our spells.
A burst of flame shoots from your outstretched fingers, and several priests wail as they light on fire.
Ooh, that's kind of nice that we can light several priests on fire. Maybe we should have ambushed them.
Unfortunately for you, this is also when the barrage of death rays from all the other priests begins in earnest. Reginald, with his sword ready, does not even make it to their line before he is cut down.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we should have tried to lure him out.
And then they turn their merciless eyes upon you.
The only bad thing about this game is because it's so linear, if I play it through again, I'm almost always going to make a much better decision. But it's nice to keep trying, right?
Alice, you finally succumb to your wounds and collapse. Skullsandsmoke.jpg. Image.
Okay.
Start over. Button.
Okay, so that's it. Well, folks, I guess we had a long discussion, but it's over. I will play it again tomorrow. I will play it again. I'm going to get this uploaded. Editing it's going to be relatively simple. I just need to remove a little bit of information in the beginning. But yeah, I like this game. I like it. It brings up a lot of interesting discussions, and I get to chat. But yeah, I'll tell you what. I will play this again. I will release this game, and I'll play this game again tomorrow. And so when this gets uploaded, the very next day after that, I'll play it again and see if we can complete this. And I'll also see what other material we've unlocked in this game. So I really like this. I got a couple of videos in the hopper. I need to get... I have another game for the main channel. I need to get that edited and uploaded, and then I'll get this game edited and uploaded. So, but I've got to get the main channel's video uploaded first, and that's going to be for Thursday. So this is a Wednesday, and then I need to get this video. So this video should go up also Thursday. So I should be able to get both of these done tonight after dinner. So no problem. But anyway, thank you all so much for coming to the first episode of D&D RPG. I know the name's not perfect. We'll get it right. We'll come up with a perfect name. Thank you very much. I think I'll have the link to it in the description. If not, you'll find the channel link in the description. I still have a lot of descriptions to create for Double Tap. So, but yeah, I first reviewed this game on Game, which was once known as New Def Gaming. So if you want to see the first listen, shoot over to my 2022 first listens, because I do a first listen list every year of about 12 to 20 games, usually one per month. Sometimes I do more than up to 4 per month. So there could be up to 40 games in my first listen playlist. So if you really want to know what are some cool RPG builders, indie games, first-person games, roguelites, anything you're thinking of, you definitely want to go to my first listens on Game. And if you want to hear me, see me, whatever you want to call it, play the games on really long play, you can definitely check it out on Game Double Tap. That's where there's no limits. We talk about a lot more personal stuff. I go on my little diatribes and I go on my soapbox and we have a lot of fun. We have a few philosophical discussions, you know. It's more of like a streamer style playthrough, and there's no need to worry about monetization. I'm not really concerned with saying, hey, like, subscribe, comment. I don't care. Do what you want to do. If you like me, cool. If you don't like me, whatever. Subscribe if you want to. Don't subscribe if you don't want to. And I will try to integrate Game Double Tap into my Facebook, which I need to change. I'm working on getting a double banner. So if you'd like to donate, I'm looking for some donations. So not monetary, but if you're a person who knows how to make really cool little banners, if you'd like to make a banner for this game, I would love that. You reach out to me at at GAMEDOUBLETAP@gmail.com. You can always reach me at GameDoubleTap.com. Conversation, you can talk to me, ask me questions. That is where you can reach me. The channel's name is capital G, capital A, capital M, capital E, space double, DOUBLE, space TAP. Double Tap. Game Double Tap. My handle is game_double_tap. The D is capitalized, the T is capitalized. I do believe the G is only capitalized. I know that the first 4 letters are all capitalized. So the game is all capitalized. So I'm yelling at you, Gabe. So yeah, if you want to find my original, the sister channel, the main channel, it is just called GAME. The handle is Game with Mike. That's GAME_WITH with _Mike, MIKE. And there's no capitals in that, I do believe. So I think it capitalizes the first letter, the first word. So yeah, you can find videos on gaming accessibly with Mike every day. You can find videos on there 4 to 5 days a week, including some really good series like not Beyond the Kyrie Gate, that's on this channel, but games like Lost Vault. You can find mini series. I've got Lost Vault. I've got Eldrum on. I've got all the Eldrum series on there. I've got many Dog Life is on there. Magic Research. Many of those games, when I'm done, will come over here to Game Double Tap for when I'm replaying them through. When the interest in them wanes, they'll come over here to Double Tap, where they'll have their second chance. So that's the one good thing. But if you want to catch them before they come over to Game Double Tap, where they're put in the queue, you can go check them out on Game. So, and if you want to watch some of my really long play series, I've already got a really long series of Beyond the Kyrie Gate. I think it's on part 4 or 5. You could check that out. It has its own playlist. And if you really want to see me play through an entire Path of Adventure class, you can also find it on Game Double Tap. You'll always find incredibly long Let's Plays on Game Double Tap, and I don't care how long it is. I'm not worried about monetization, so I can literally do what I want to do, which is why I created this second channel. But anyway, thank you very much, everybody. Again, I'll tend to explain a lot less as the channel becomes more familiar to all of you. I think we're heading toward 30 subscribers, which is really amazing. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate you all. I love it. I'm having so much fun. And like I said, let me mention that again. If you'd like to donate a banner that just says Game Double Tap, or if you'd like to donate a banner for my primary channel, Game, you can put whatever you want in the banner, as long as there's no profanity, nudity, or any inappropriate images. Just, you can create something that, RPG images are pretty easy to figure out. Your creativity will be rewarded. I will mention you. And if you'd like to donate that, contact me on my email. The email for Game is newdeath2014@gmail.com. And again, the email for this channel is GAMEDOUBLETAP@gmail.com. Game Double Tap. All right, folks, that's it for us today. Keep a gaming and keep double tapping. And I'll hear you all next time. Take care.